I used to love the quiet of our living room. It had this soft, lived-in warmth, like the walls themselves remembered every birthday candle, every lazy Sunday, every whispered "I love you" over the years. For the longest time, sitting here beside him felt like home, safe, predictable, good, but now every evening feels like a performance I'm too tired to keep acting in. The lamp in the corner glows its usual amber, casting the same steady circle of light across the rug. I sit on the far end of the couch, legs tucked under me, phone glowing cold blue against my hands. I pretend to scroll through work emails, but mostly I'm skimming messages from someone I shouldn't be talking to, someone who makes my pulse jump in a way it shouldn't. Across the room, he's there, watching a show we used to enjoy together. He laughs softly at something on the screen, but his eyes flick toward me just a second too long, checking, maybe hoping I'll laugh with him. I force a smile, tiny and quick, then drop my gaze back to my phone before he can see the truth in my face. The guilt is a physical weight pressing into my ribs. I tell him I'm stressed lately, and he believes me. He believes everything I say, and that somehow makes the lie worse. Long day, he asks gently, setting his mug on the coffee table, the ceramic tapping the wood with a sound I've known for years. I nod, barely looking up. Yeah, that new project is killing me. He smiles. Proud, supportive, unguarded, you'll crush it. You always do. His faith in me feels like a knife, a quiet, familiar knife. He talks a little about his day. Something about a coworker, something funny that happened at the grocery store. I listen the way someone listens through a closed window. I hear the shape of his words, but not the meaning. I don't know when I started drifting this far away, but now the distance feels impossible to cross. A notification buzzes on my phone. My heart jumps. I tilt the screen away from him, pretending it's just another late night request from work, but it isn't work, it's him, the person who makes me feel more awake than I've felt in years, and also the person I should have never let into my life. Still thinking about you. The message reads, I swallow, my mouth suddenly dry. I don't respond, not yet, not with my husband only a few feet away, but my silence isn't a no, it never is. The guilt flickers in my chest, restless and hot. In the kitchen, he disappears briefly to refill his mug. I hear him humming under his breath, the same tune he always hums, something small and happy. When he comes back, he notices the throw blank. It has slipped off my shoulders, and he lifts it for me, draping it over gently. You're always cold, he says with a fond smile. I almost break then, almost confess, almost undo everything with a single breath. But instead, I tuck the blanket around me and whisper, thanks. He settles next to me, closer now, unaware that every inch between us is a battlefield. He looks at our wedding photo on the mantel and smiles at it like it's a friend. I look too, at our younger selves glowing with certainty, my hand in his, my smile bright and real. I look away first. He reaches for the remote, I reach for my phone, and just like every night these past 6 months, the room feels full of two people who don't know how to say they're drifting apart. One who doesn't see it happening, and one who can't admit she's already gone. The night air outside the office tastes like metal. Cold, sharp, familiar. I've been spending too many late evenings here, or at least pretending to. The building looks different after dark, emptier, softer, like it holds its breath for the few of us who linger past normal hours. I step out of the elevator, pressing my badge to the reader with a motion so practiced I barely think about it anymore. The fluorescent lights hum their lonely tune above me, reflecting off the polished floors. Everything seems too bright, too still, like one of those moments right before something cracks. My phone vibrates in my coat pocket. For a second, I think it might be a message from him, the man I shouldn't miss, shouldn't want, but it's not. It's my husband. Hope tonight isn't too stressful. I made your favorite pasta, left a plate for when you get home. My stomach tightens, guilt pooling low and nauseous. I type out a quick, vague reply, thanks, don't wait up, and slip my phone away before I can overthink the lie. I head toward my department, heels tapping lightly on the tile. I'm exhausted, but not from work. It's the double life that drains me, the constant tension balancing who I am, who I used to be, and who I'm turning into without meaning to. He's waiting for me outside the corridor, the man whose name alone is enough to set my pulse racing in ways I wish it wouldn't. He leans casually against the wall, hands in his pockets, head tilted the way he does when he's trying not to smile too soon. There you are, he murmurs, stepping toward me. Something inside me melts and clenches at the same time. Sorry, I whisper, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear. Had to finish up some reports. He gives me a look that says he knows I'm lying. Knows I lie easily now. Knows the lies aren't for him. You ready to go? He asks, voice low and warm. I nod. Yeah. He holds out his hand without hesitation, and I take it without thinking, without considering how dangerous this gesture is, even hidden within the empty hallways of a nighttime office. My fingers fit between his like they've done it 1,000 times. Maybe they have by now. We walk toward the exit, our joined hands swinging in a rhythm we never learned but fell into naturally. With him, I feel awake, lit from the inside, reckless, dangerous. The glass doors slide open as we step into the night. The parking lot glows under the streetlights, slick from a light rain earlier. The cold air nips at my cheeks, but his thumb stroking the back of my hand keeps me warm in ways I don't deserve. We could grab a drink, he suggests, nodding toward his car. Or just talk, whatever you want. I smile, small but real, the kind of smile I used to give my husband long ago. Talking sounds good. He opens the passenger door for me, something sweet, something simple, yet the gesture fills my chest with warmth and guilt at the same time. I slide into the seat, inhaling the faint scent of him lingering in the air, something clean and earthy that's become too familiar. He walks around to the driver's side. I watch him through the windshield, feeling that strange mixture again, happiness threaded tightly with dread. As he starts the engine, I glance back at the office building behind us, its windows glowing like dozens of unblinking eyes. I wonder if they're judging me, if they can see all the fractures I pretend aren't there. He drives forward, headlights cutting through the night, and for a moment I let myself forget the other life waiting for me at home. The one filled with pasta left out on the counter. The one where someone still believes I'm the same woman he married. I close my eyes and breathe. For tonight, I tell myself I can hold both worlds, but deep down, I already know that isn't true. The lobby is quiet when we step inside, too quiet. Late night stillness has a way of amplifying everything, the click of my heels, the hum of the overhead lights, the sound of my own heartbeat thudding a little too fast. I'm still holding his hand, the wrong hand. The one that feels impossibly easy to hold, even though it shouldn't. Our fingers stay intertwined as we cross the lobby, shadows stretching long across the polished floor. He squeezes my hand lightly, a silent "you okay?" And I smile, because with him I usually am. But tonight there's something strange tugging at the back of my mind, an itch I can't quite scratch, a pressure behind my ribs, anxiety mixed with anticipation, though I can't tell which one is louder. Maybe this is what guilt truly sounds like when it grows too big to ignore. Outside the glass doors, the parking lot glistens under the streetlights. The pavement is still wet from rain, and the reflections shimmer like broken glass. I feel the cold air seep through the lobby windows. I should let go of his hand before we step outside. I know that. But the moment I think about releasing him, he gives my fingers another gentle tug. "Hey," he murmurs, leaning close, "you're quiet." I'm just tired. I say automatically, the same answer I've been giving everyone lately. It's half true, but only half. He smiles, brushing his thumb over my skin in a way that makes me forget how to breathe evenly. "We'll grab some coffee. Wake you up." I nod, even though something in my chest tightens, because I shouldn't want coffee with him. I shouldn't want anything with him. Yet here I am, walking through the building like we belong together. As the doors slide open, a cold gust hits us, making me shiver. He steps closer, shielding me slightly from the wind, and for a moment I lean into him without thinking. We walk toward his car, talking about nothing. Petty office drama, weekend plans we shouldn't be making, the way my hair keeps blowing across my face. I laugh at something he says, and the sound surprises me. It's light, unburdened, a version of me I haven't heard in years. He opens the passenger door, and I start to slide in, then something shifts. I can't explain why, but I suddenly feel watched, not by him. Not by a coworker, something deeper, a tiny instinct that makes the hair on my arms prickle. I pause halfway into the seat, my breath catching in my throat. He notices. What's wrong? And nothing, I whisper, shaking it off. But as he rounds the car to take the driver's seat, I catch a flicker of movement reflected in the glossy surface of the building's windows. A silhouette, no, a presence. Someone standing further back in the lobby hallway. Someone still, someone familiar. For a second, the world tilts. My stomach drops so violently it feels like falling. I blink hard, and the reflection disappears, swallowed by darkness and distance. Maybe it wasn't real. Maybe I'm overtired. Maybe guilt is finally messing with my mind so vividly that I'm seeing ghosts. He gets into the driver's seat, oblivious, ready. I force a smile and nod, shutting the car door with hands that suddenly feel shaky. He starts the engine, headlights pulling across the pavement. As we drive away, I keep glancing at the rearview mirror, searching the empty parking lot for, I don't know, confirmation, a face, a shadow. Something that explains the icy dread coiling low in my stomach. But there's nothing behind us, just darkness. Still, as the building shrinks in the distance, I can't shake the feeling that something irreversible just shifted in my world. Like a door quietly opened or quietly closed, and I missed the moment it happened. He asks what I'm thinking about. I lie again, just work. But the truth is clawing at me. For the first time since this started, I'm scared, not of being caught, but of what happens next. The ride back from the coffee shop feels like drifting through a dream I shouldn't be in. My hand still tingles from where he held it earlier, and his laughter lingers faintly in my ears, warm and light and dangerous. I should feel guilty, crushed under the weight of it. But right now I mostly feel numb, floaty, caught between two versions of myself and not fully belonging to either one. When he pulls up beside my car in the office lot, I hesitate before reaching for the door handle. It's late. My husband will probably be asleep by the time I get home. A safe thought, a comforting thought, a thought that makes my chest ache because it shouldn't be comforting to think of him asleep and unaware. Drive safe, he says, leaning slightly toward me, eyes lingering on mine in that way that always makes my heart flutter and my stomach twist. You too, I whisper, my voice barely above the hum of the engine. He doesn't kiss me. He almost never does at the office. It's the one boundary we haven't shattered yet. But his fingers brush my arm, gentle and familiar, before I finally slip out of his car. The air is colder now, sharp enough to sting my cheeks. I watch his taillights disappear into the night before I force myself to turn toward my own car. My hands shake a little when I unlock it. The moment I sit in the driver's seat, silence crashes over me like a wave. No warm voice, no flirtatious teasing, no stolen glances, just me. And the truth I keep pretending I don't see. I start the engine. The dashboard glows a soft blue, illuminating my face in the dark. It feels harsh, like it's exposing every guilty line, every secret thought. I rest my head against the steering wheel for a few seconds, breathing in the faint scent of old coffee and worn leather. What am I doing? I whisper to no one. The words evaporate into the cold air. I pull out of the lot slowly, almost reluctantly. My headlights sweep across empty parking spaces, patches of damp pavement, a lone stack of cardboard boxes near the loading dock. Everything looks normal. Just a regular night, just a regular commute home, but something feels off in me. An uneasiness lodged deep in my ribs, the same prickling I felt earlier, like a shadow had passed behind me, like someone had been watching. I shake it off, guilt playing tricks, that's all. The road is quiet, barely anyone out this late. Streetlights blink lazily overhead as I pass under them, casting fleeting bands of gold across the dashboard. Every few minutes, my phone buzzes in the cup holder. Him again, probably, checking if I got home safe, wanting to talk, wanting more of me than he should. I don't answer, not yet. My thoughts drift to the house waiting for me. Warm, familiar, lived in, a place where my husband, probably left a plate of my favorite pasta out for when I got home. I can picture him placing aluminum foil over the dish with that absent-minded tenderness he has. I can picture his tired smile, his soft how was work, even if he's half asleep. The images hit me harder than I expect. The steering wheel suddenly feels too warm under my palms. My chest constricts, breath cutting short. Tears sting unexpectedly at the back of my eyes. I blink them away and tighten my grip on the wheel, get it together, I mutter, but the closer I get to home, the heavier everything feels, like the air itself thickens. Like the lies I've been stacking up are finally starting to lean, ready to topple. A red light catches me at the intersection before our neighborhood. I drum my fingers anxiously on the wheel, staring straight ahead. My reflection in the windshield looks, startled, unsure, like someone waking up from a long sleep and realizing they don't recognize the room they're in. When the light turns green, I take a slow breath and drive forward. Home is only a minute away, but it feels like crossing into another life, one I'm supposed to want, one that should feel safe tonight. It feels like walking into a truth I'm not ready to face. By the time I turn into our street, the neighborhood is asleep. Porch lights glow like quiet guardians, windows are dark, and everything feels too peaceful for the storm brewing in my chest. My hands are cold on the steering wheel. I'm tired, physically, emotionally, morally, but there's something heavier pressing on me tonight, something I can't quite name. When I pull into our driveway, the garage door slowly lifts, revealing the same familiar space it always does. Storage boxes lined neatly along the walls, his toolbox on the far bench, the faint smell of old paint and motor oil. Home stability, the life I built, the life I'm sabotaging. My headlights sweep across the garage floor as I roll inside. For a second, the beams illuminate the empty passenger seat beside me, and guilt crawls up my spine like cold fingers. I turn off the engine, and silence slams into me. A thick, suffocating silence. I don't get out, not yet. My body doesn't move like I'm locked in place. I rest my forehead against the steering wheel and exhale shakily. The quiet hum of the cooling engine fills the space around me, and it feels louder than it should. Why does it feel so hard to open the car door? Why does stepping inside feel heavier than the entire day I just lived? My phone buzzes, once, twice, then stops. I don't check it. Instead, I stare at the garage wall, at the faint shadows cast by the dim overhead bulb, at the outline of our bicycles leaning together like old friends. Everything in this garage has a story, a shared memory, a moment we built side by side, and here I am, sitting in front of all of it with a heart full of secrets. I swallow hard and lift my head. The steering wheel has left a faint indentation on my skin. Why does it feel like something cracked tonight? I can't shake that sensation I felt earlier at the office, like someone had been watching us. It's ridiculous. I tell myself it was late. The building was mostly empty. My mind is spiraling, that's all, but the unease is still there, humming like a warning in the back of my mind. I tap my fingers nervously on the wheel. I should go inside. I should heat up the pasta he made and pretend the night was uneventful. I should kiss him on the cheek and say I'm tired and let the routine swallow the guilt again. But I can't make myself move. Instead, I sit there, staring at the small sliver of light under the door that leads to the house. He probably left it on for me like he always does, a tiny gesture of love I never asked for but always counted on, and now each gesture feels like a stone piled onto the weight in my chest. Minutes slip by soft, quiet, suffocating minutes. I lose track of how many. The car windows fog slightly from my breathing. The air feels heavy, like the garage itself knows what I've done and is waiting for me to admit it. What am I doing? I whisper, closing my eyes. The question doesn't bring an answer. It only repeats in my head, looping endlessly, bouncing off every lie I've told, every truth I've avoided. Another buzz from my phone. This time, longer. I let it go silent again. Finally, I force myself to sit up, hands trembling slightly. I grip the door handle but don't pull. I stare at the house, the home I helped paint, the home where we laughed, argued, dreamed, grew. A place that has held the best versions of us. And I wonder if I'm destroying it piece by piece, or if it's been crumbling quietly for years, and I'm only now noticing the cracks. I take a deep breath, slow, weak, then I open the door, stepping into the chill of the garage. The echo of it closing feels like a sentence being written behind me. I walk toward the door inside, each step feeling heavier than the last. I tell myself I just need to get through the night. But the truth whispers back, I'm not sure I can keep living the life waiting on the other side of that door. The door from the garage opens into the kitchen with a soft click, and for a second I just stand there, letting the familiar warmth of the house spill over me. It smells like garlic and basil. He really did make my favorite pasta. The faint aroma still hangs in the air, mixed with the soft citrus of the candle he lights when he wants the house to feel cozy while I'm stuck at work. It's so painfully domestic. So heartbreakingly normal, my chest tightens, the house is quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator and the distant ticking of the clock in the living room. I slip off my shoes and line them neatly beside the others. His sneakers are there, clean, organized, placed the same way he always leaves them. A system he made so I wouldn't trip when I came home late. I swallowed down the guilt clawing up my throat. My keys sound too loud when I set them on the counter. I wince at the sharp cling, like the house is scolding me, or maybe I'm just imagining it. Maybe I'm imagining everything tonight. I walk through the kitchen slowly, as if the air is thicker somehow. The soft overhead light spills across the dining table. There's a covered plate sitting there, exactly where I knew it would be. Aluminum foil crinkled neatly around the edges, a sticky note resting on top. Eat while it's still good. Love you. The words punch me right in the stomach. I run my thumb over the handwriting. Familiar, steady, warm. He always adds some little heart at the end of the note, a tiny flourish he's done for years. Tonight, the heart looks like it's mocking me. I don't lift the foil. I don't think I can. Instead, I drift into the living room, feeling like a ghost in my own home, like someone wandering through a life that isn't mine anymore. The lamp beside the mantel is on, a soft, warm glow meant to welcome me. The same glow that filled our home on the night we framed that photo. Our wedding picture sits perfectly centered, dusted, cherished, two people smiling like they've been handed every good thing life could offer. I stop in front of it, my breath catching. God, we were so young. Young in a way that had nothing to do with age. Young in belief, in certainty, in trust. I lift the frame, my fingers trembling slightly as I hold it closer. I stare at my younger self, the way she's laughing, leaning into him, her eyes bright with hope. Back then, I couldn't imagine ever wanting anything but the life we were promising each other. When did that girl disappear? When did I stop being her? The guilt hits me again. This time sharper, heavier. My throat tightens, and I blink rapidly to keep tears from spilling. The room blurs anyway. I set the frame down gently, too gently, like I'm afraid of breaking it. Maybe I am. Maybe I've already broken everything else. I sink onto the couch, elbows on my knees, hands clasped in front of my mouth. I've never felt more lost, more divided, more ashamed. Somewhere down the hallway, I hear the faint creak of the bedroom door, shifting with the air vents. He's asleep in there, peaceful, trusting, loving me in a way I no longer deserve. My phone buzzes again in my coat pocket, muffled but unmistakable. I flinch like I've been burned. I ignore it. I have to ignore it. I press the heel of my hand to my chest, trying to slow my breathing, trying to stop the trembling in my fingers. The house feels like it's closing in on me, like every memory is staring back, waiting for me to choose who I'm going to be. My gaze drifts back to the wedding photo. I'm sorry. I whisper, though I'm not sure who I'm apologizing to him, to myself, to the woman I used to be. The silence swallows the words whole. And for the first time since all of this started, I'm scared that no matter what I do next, someone gets hurt. Maybe even all of us. I don't know how long I sat on the edge of the bed after he walked out of the room. Time didn't feel real. Just this thick, unmoving air around me, heavy enough to press against my chest. The house was too quiet, that awful kind of quiet that isn't peaceful at all. It's the quiet of something breaking, silently, in the walls and between the floorboards and inside my own ribs. Eventually, I heard the soft thud of his footsteps downstairs, not hurried, not angry, just, tired, defeated, the sound of someone carrying more weight than they deserve. I wrapped my arms around myself. I didn't cry, not immediately. It was like my body hadn't caught up to what my mind already knew. Like every part of me was lagging behind reality by a few seconds. I stood up and walked to the hallway. The house felt unfamiliar, like I'd woken up in a stranger's home that just happened to look like mine. Our framed photos on the wall, vacations, birthdays, stupid selfies, felt like they belonged to someone else. Some other couple who actually had a chance. My hand drifted over the picture from our 5th anniversary. His arms were around me. My smile was wide and effortless. and my eyes had that stupid sparkle I always had when I looked at him. I touched my face in the photo and felt something twist in my stomach. I didn't deserve that version of him. I didn't deserve any version of him, not after what I'd done. When I finally went downstairs, he was in the kitchen, standing by the counter, staring at nothing. Not even pretending to be busy, just breathing in that quiet, heavy way that hurt me more than any yelling ever could. He didn't look up when I entered. He just kept his hands flat on the countertop, knuckles white. I didn't go out tonight. I finally said, the words dissolving on my tongue even as they left my mouth. I just needed to think. He didn't respond, not with words, just a faint nod. I stepped closer, slow and unsure, like approaching a wild animal afraid of being hurt again. I know you don't believe me, I said softly, and I don't blame you. He still didn't turn around. That hurt more than any insult would have. The refrigerator hummed loudly, the only sound in the room, like even the appliances were holding their breath. I walked to the table and sat down because my legs suddenly felt weak. I folded my hands in my lap, staring at my fingers like they were the problem, like they were the ones who had betrayed him. "I'm sorry," I whispered, "for everything, for being distant, for making you doubt yourself, for all of it." My voice cracked on the last word. That finally made him turn. His eyes were red, exhausted, but calm, too calm. "I don't want an apology right now," he said quietly. "I want the truth." My breath caught. The truth, the thing I'd been running from for months. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. My throat closed, panic pushing up against my lungs like a rising tide. I'm trying," I whispered. He nodded once, slowly, "Then try harder." The veg softness of his voice sliced through me. I wanted to tell him everything. I wanted to spill every ugly, tangled thread inside my chest. But fear clamped down, fear of losing him entirely, fear of confirming what he already suspected. So instead, I wrapped my arms around myself again, aesthetic, protective, and whispered, "I don't know where to start." He looked at me with a kind of sadness I'd never seen before. "Start," he said, "with where you've been." And just like that, the room shrank around us, pressing the truth up against my lips until I had no choice but to face it.